Welcome back, everyone. After a brief hiatus, we're back. My name's Sloan Kelly.
My name's Jody Kelly.
And my name is James Baker.
That was a long pause there.
That was a long pause.
I thought you'd frozen, actually. This is What If, and this is really what if we came up with an excuse to do a show on a Monday night. That's really what
pretty
this
much.
is. Yeah,
pretty much.
Because we'd been doing reaction videos for forever, it seems, but yeah, basically the entire year. And then we got to Marvel's What If, and we're like, we should take a wee break, lads. And so we took a bit of a break, but we're back. We've come up with an idea, and it's called What If. And what
we've come up with an idea.
Well, we haven't though. I'm sure
we've stolen an idea.
We've stolen an idea
from Marvel.
Yes, as always. And hello.
Oh, hi Jay.
Hey Jay. Yes, we've stolen an idea of What If, and we've all come up with a scenario. Mine's ill thought out, but I'm hoping everybody else has got theirs fleshed out a little bit more. Who wants to go first?
You think we've thought about this? You're going to laugh. I'm throwing it out there to you guys. Right. I've got a couple actually.
Have you? Right, who wants to go first then?
James is champion.
James. All right. James,
do it. I've just been volunteered.
Yeah, you just been voluntold.
Voluntold. Yeah, I like that.
You've been told.
We all took 2 steps back.
I kind of have an idea of what yours is, Sloan, because I'm pretty sure you put it in the group.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So you can obviously announce that later on. So I was having a couple of ideas and what would I think of, and one of the ones I came up with was, the this isn't what I'm doing, but I was thinking, what if the stormtrooper that was supposed to set for stun actually forgot to set for stun and killed Leia instead of. So then I sat there for a while and I was thinking, so what would happen here? What would happen here? And I didn't really get very far, and there weren't very many interesting scenarios. And then I had another idea, which I'll tell you at the end, because if I reveal what that idea is, then I'll kind of spoil what my actual idea is. And whilst I haven't given this much thought recently, it's something that's been brewing in my head for quite some time. And it's when I went to first year at university, I have a friend called Colin and a friend called Graham. And we always used to joke about the Empire and all the characters in the Empire and how they're all fairly British. So and we used to joke about different bits and pieces. So I'll cut to the chase, right? So I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll maybe explain a bit more afterwards. So what happens if the Queen Vic wasn't in Walthamstow and was actually on the Death Star? So that is what if the Queen Vic was on the Death Star. So
Queen Vic from EastEnders.
From EastEnders, yeah.
So the Mitchell brothers are stormtroopers, or they're Imperial?
Well, yeah, the Mitchell brothers can be stormtroopers and stuff, but this kind of came around where like at the yeah, all that kind of stuff. It came around.
Johnny's working away. He's like, what's going on?
So who would own it then?
I've got the landlord. I've got as Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, Tarkin would have to be the landlord, wouldn't he?
Yeah, because obviously the Emperor's not kicking about anywhere. But I think Vader's going to be the muscle.
Well,
he's not quite the bouncer, but he's definitely he's running the show.
Yeah.
Outside, on the bar floor, but we started to joke about it, who's the guy that does until this battle station is fully operational? Thunderbolt. That guy's obviously from there,
He's the guy at the end of the bar.
He is.
He's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy at the end of the bar that knows everything.
I know. So as opposed to them having their meeting, in that big boardroom, etc., they're having the meeting basically down the Queen Vic, which is located on the Death Star,
leaning on the bar.
Yeah.
See the guy. See the EastEnders. See that EastEnders guy. So he's the type of guy in the bar that thinks he's got a lot of self-importance about him, but he's got no clout whatsoever. But he talks himself up. That type of guy.
That guy in the Swee that I used to describe, he knows feck all about everything.
Yeah. Used to be a guy in the pub, and he used to come out with all these. It was like pure Walter Mitty stuff. He used to say that he was like Secret Service, and he get picked up. Like there was a Stair Park in Girvan, and he get picked up at Stair Park via helicopter. It came down, picked him up, and he was away on a special mission. He was like some sort of spy.
I should point
And
out
I'm like, if you were really a spy and it was all that secret, why the hell are you telling me? You know what I mean? That type of guy. That type of guy.
That type of guy. So I figure, like if you go into that boardroom, right, and they're having that meeting, all those characters are straight out of a pub somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, there's the guy giving Vader a bit of jip. You don't frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. You know, and he's just a real kind of smarmy getting Vader's like, you know, you've been asking for this for a long time. Yeah, I'm just you're getting chucked out.
I shoot your bard.
And then when Vader's in his TIE fighter and he's like adjusting his scope or whatever, you know, he's kind of holding he's doing this. We, myself and Colin and Graham, always kind of imagined him like that was his snooker cue, like he was just sorting out his snooker cue. So and then we also joked. We also joke
holographic pool.
And people would be like shouting, "Hey, what's yours, Darth?" Like, you know, and there's an atmosphere going and stuff. But all those characters that were in that boardroom would be just pub characters. So nothing. I guess nothing would happen. There's no storyline to this. It would just be like an ongoing thing where, you know, if you've just finished your shift as a TIE fighter pilot, then you're going down there and you're getting steaming because you're probably fairly stressed out.
I think you'll find my 20 pence is on the table.
See if you were playing Darth Vader at pool and you're about to hit the black in to win the game, would you not be a bit edgy?
I
think I'd purposefully miss.
Aye, you would. You're not going to risk. You're not going to risk that. But definitely.
Do you not think he would just go like that and then just make the 8-ball miss anyway? He would do the old.
Well, he would
move the ball.
And you would just have to be all right with that.
You'd be like,
and of course, it wouldn't take him that many pints to get legless.
Nice.
Bloody hell.
Nice. It's just like as if we rehearsed this.
I know. Unbelievable.
So and then when we were at university, we, you know, as opposed to like sitting there listening to lectures, we had like sheets of A4 where we actually drew these captions out there, somehow classed as the holy documents. I've got them upstairs. There's no way I could have found them. We've still got them. I've still got them. I've still got them somewhere, but it's like and Chaz and Dave are playing in the background. They're playing like they're doing a wee set in the background. So it's like proper. So I didn't really need to put that much thought into it because I've thought about it for like 20 years.
Yeah, Chaz and Dave
Knees up
in the background. I imagine Chaz and Dave been more kind of Obi-Wan.
I know what they could do.
Beards and that.
Instead of singing Rabbit, they could sing Jabba.
Yeah.
Jabba. Yeah.
No, I think, you know, you look at Chaz and Dave, they're quite British. You know, it's a British, or maybe a British institution. You know, they're for the Queen and the Empire and stuff. So I think they're. I think they're.
But the Imperials don't have beards, do they?
Oh, that's true.
Chaz and Dave can. If they're helping Tarkin, you know, run the Queen Vic, then
they need to shave their beards off.
Yeah.
I think because they're the entertainment, Tarkin lets them away with it. I think because they're not officers; they're purely just working the pub. I don't think he asks them to be fair.
So let me get this right. So the scene is set. So they're all in the bar and they're arguing about the station being fully operational. Meanwhile, Chaz and Dave are setting up the equipment in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Darth, as opposed to Darth actually being at the table or around the bar, he's actually playing snooker. And he's just and someone shouting, "What's yours, Darth?" And there's just pints flying everywhere, and you know, there's Vader just had this foreboding type presence, like you just don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
But then that guy, obviously, who's like, "You don't frighten us with your sorcerer's ways," just pipes up. He's had one too many.
Yeah.
Vader just deals with him.
And the other thing is also Darth's going like that with the cue, and he goes like that.
That's exactly what he does. That is. So, and when we were doing our little comedy drawings, we used to have the guys. They were like that. like they had like 3 lines for eyes, as if it was like, you know, the old cartoons, as if they were like that.
Yes.
Like laughing, tears of laughter were coming out. I'll need to find those historical holy documents.
You had something similar, Jody, with well, it wasn't similar, but it was the Adventures of Luke Skywalker or something.
No, it was it was Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, father and son type thing.
Yeah,
that I did, as if they're like, you know, doing stuff like father and son, like, you know.
Moving furniture and stuff like that. But there was one where Luke decided he was going to be like a stand-up comedian.
Oh yeah. I
like that.
That's right. He was talking about his dad.
Yeah. Is this thing on?
Yeah, that's right. And I also did a thing where it was Boba and Obi-Wan were flatmates as well.
Nice.
Nice. And it was like a kind of.
Did you do this in like a comic book form?
I did. It was like a kind of 3-panel thing. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll dig them out. In fact, you've got them, Sloan, somewhere.
Yeah.
You shared them with me recently.
Yeah. You dig them out again.
Yeah.
So, and also another thing that Darth would be doing would be like confiscating TIE fighter keys, so you couldn't be drinking and flying and stuff.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You'd be getting like some Imperial taxi home. So, yeah. So that's kind of. I know it sounds a bit weird, a bit bizarre. I had actually thought, what if Thanos was the landlord of the Queen Vic, and then that kind of got me thinking, and I was just like, no, this is this whole Star Wars thing, and the Grand Moff Tarkin, and you know, and all the British, you know.
I was just thinking about Thanos being in the Queen Vic. All of a sudden, he just gets fed up because it's too busy.
Yeah, exactly. My couple of folk left.
Guy walks in, quiet in here tonight. And he goes, "It is now."
It is now. I know. Yeah. He's got his Hoover out, hoovering up all the dust. Yeah, his vacuum cleaner or his carpet sweeper.
I did giveaway. I'd just walk out straight back out again if I saw him. Hoover.
Pours a pint of Guinness, and it's just black. And the guy says to him, "Should have gone for the head."
Oh,
nice.
Very cool.
But not worthy of a bell ring.
No, definitely not.
No. So anyway, there's my scenario. What if the Queen Vic was on the Death Star?
Like it.
What
if
the Queen Vic was on the Death Star? What if C-3PO made bleep bleep sounds and R2-D2 spoke?
There's a
I feel a bit sick actually, isn't it? Do they?
Yeah. Cleveland plays R2-D2. I'm getting the bleep bloop out of here, he says at one point.
The Blue Harvest movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And something the dark side.
I am finished. That is me. I'm done.
Cool. Jody?
Well, mine is a bit more kind of.
That was good, James, by the way. Thank you.
It was. Mine's a bit more kind of overarching thing. What if a
good
big
start.
Movie auteur like Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese directed a DC movie?
Oh.
So,
wasn't Quentin Tarantino supposed to direct a Star Trek movie?
Yeah, I think he.
He was going to write. He was going to write a script.
Oh, isn't it?
I think he'd written a script actually, but it was going to be more like the kind of episodic, original Star Trek, more close to the thing. I was watching a Quentin Tarantino documentary today actually, and I was thinking to myself, God, what if he did do his next movie was like something totally random, like a sci-fi film or a DC movie, and what would that would look like, you know? Or we'd bring in all these kind of tropes from kung fu movies and all these kind of wordy, you know, really wordy stuff. Yoda would have some sort of big monologue about the force and the fury of fire and fury or whatever, you know, from Pulp Fiction and stuff like that. And it would last about 20 minutes, and then it'd just kill everybody. And there'd also be like kind of Kill Bill-esque kind of lightsaber fight where they're running up the handrails of stairs and then fighting in a snow scene, and blood everywhere. And, although they kind of did that in Force Awakens, I suppose.
I think that might actually happen because
Some
Star
really
Wars Visions thing's coming out.
Aye, and then you could have a really tense scene with like Vader or one of the Siths. Really tense scene where there's like the Inglorious Bastards. People are hidden in the Millennium Falcon. The smugglers.
Aye, the wee kind of place they hide.
And then he's have a really tense kind of one-on-one conversation where he knows where they are, and then the stormtroopers would come in and miss them all at point blank range. Shoot the floor.
No.
Then walk away, assume they're all dead, and they've missed every single one of them.
These blaster marks are too
accurate
for sand people. These are stormtroopers.
Yeah, exactly.
All Imperial stormtroopers.
What was that line all about?
Do you know? I think it's you could beautifully explain that by just going like he wanted to draw Luke into the conflict, and so therefore he lied about the blaster marks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
Like they weren't accurate at all. They were just like shooting all over the place. Like they had the fire hose.
Yeah. And of course, Martin Scorsese famously said that he hated Marvel movies.
That's right.
That'd been an interesting one. Although he did produce Joker, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
The DC
Well, it's
movie.
DC. It's not Marvel.
Well, it as in superhero movies, but then Joker's not really a superhero movie.
No,
it's kind of study of a man on his mental descent.
It's King of Comedy, is what it is.
Pretty much, and Taxi Driver crossed over.
So if this whole thing's kind of inspired by What If, and What If's a comic book from the 70s and 80s and stuff that done this exact thing, just took scenarios. What if this happened and what if that happened? So DC's version of it is Elseworlds. So they would just like say, well, it was basically what if this happened, or what if Batman was a cowboy, or he was alive, or Bruce Wayne was alive in those kind of times. So when you picked up a lot of Elseworlds book, it was basically DC's version of What If, and I'm pretty sure What If came first and Elseworlds came afterwards. So Quentin Tarantino being like a bit of a cowboy aficionado.
Oh, he was a total comic book geek.
And then likes westerns and stuff. I envisage him doing something like doing an Elseworlds, which is basically a What If, and taking it back to the times of the Hateful Eight.
Well,
and
to be honest with you, Quentin Tarantino ticks all the boxes for Star Wars. Maybe not so much DC, but certainly Star Wars. Cowboy stuff with Hateful Eight and Django Unchained.
Yeah.
You get your sword fight stuff, Kill Bill.
A lot of martial arts.
Yeah. You've got your kind of dramatic kind of stuff with the Reservoir Dogs and stuff like that.
Doesn't the bride travel to Japan to get her sword?
Yes, she gets it made.
She gets it
made. By Thingy Honza.
Hondo Anaka.
What do you call me?
I can see that.
Hondo Anaka.
Yeah. Okay. So it'd be interesting if he went in that route, wouldn't it? To do like a kind of his last movie was like a sci-fi film or a superhero film.
Aye.
That's mine. Anyway.
No, like that. I can see him doing that, but definitely, I would love to see him like just doing taking that samurai thing and inserting Superman into this or Batman into that. Or I'm sure have you seen those action figures where they take the Star Wars figures, but they put them into like ancient Japan. So you've got like Vader as a samurai, C-3PO as a
Yep.
Not a Joker, but it's some kind of like jokey character, comedy relief type character. But I'd like to see him do that kind of thing. I think he'd be very good at doing that, and there being hundreds of blood and being very
me too. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see the tense scenes that the type of tense scenes that he does as well. There's one-on-one. It'd be interesting with one of the Sith, or not a fight scene, but just one of these really kind of intense things.
I think, I mean, we were talking about accents and how all Imperials are British, but there's a bit in Mandalorian, the Bill Burr season 2 episode, where the three of them are sitting around a table. There's an Imperial who's clearly a deep South accent, Bill Burr's character from Baston, and then you get Pedro Pascal, and the tension in that scene is very
That's one of my
Tarantino-esque.
favourite episodes. It's very Tarantino, actually. You're right. Yeah. That's one of my favourite episodes.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. It's the same as every Tarantino. Like it's almost the scene from Hateful Eight where they're all sitting around the table, just waiting.
And I'd
for
also
someone to
say,
pull
you
the
know
trigger first.
that kind of mundane chat that Tarantino has in his dialogue as well. In the final episode of series 1 of The Mandalorian, with the two scout troopers.
Yes.
You know, when they've got the baby Yoda, Grogu, and they're having that kind of mundane chat. I think that's quite Quentin Tarantino-esque as well.
Yeah, that's the sort of quarter pound of cheese type chat.
And obviously Robert Rodriguez, he's directed Mando.
He's done one.
Was that episode? The last episode was Taika Waititi, wasn't it?
The last episode of season 1 was Taika Waititi.
Yeah, the Boba Fett reveal in season 2 was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So you know he's a close associate of Tarantino as well. So
So Tarantino's confirmed for Mandalorian. Is that an exclusive to?
That's pretty much what we're saying. Yeah.
Hey, I'd watch it. That'd be great.
With that. But I think we've already kind of seen. I think we've seen elements of what it could be like. You know. I think I started off talking about DC. If you did a DC,
that's what I was thinking
of. The Star Wars.
But then, what was the episode with Michael Biehn in it? And it was the standoff between Ahsoka.
Ahsoka one.
That felt quite. You know, if that was tense. That was kind of you know, really cinematic. That felt quite Tarantino-y.
That was your Jimbo. That episode.
That's right.
Yeah. Almost exactly the same story.
Yeah, I mean, his influences obviously is like a total kind of sponge as far as cinema is concerned, and he's just taking things from everywhere.
Yeah,
probably nobody knows as much about films as he does. You know, he's like a total mega mind.
He was the first director that never went to film school, wasn't he? He said that his
first. I don't know if he was the first, was he?
Well, maybe not the first, but he was the one that sort of like said, "No, my film school was watching VHS."
Yes, that's right.
Cassettes.
He was the first one I'd heard of. He was a big one at the time.
Because before that, it was all like, you know, you went to California, did your student film and all that kind of stuff, and then you hit it big, doing your student film, and then you got signed up with some big studio. You get given a cottage on the Universal lot and all that kind of stuff, and then that was you, Steven Spielberg.
I don't quite like seeing it because I feel sorry for Quentin Tarantino, but I kind of do like watching the car crash that is when someone who is interviewing him is a crap interviewer, and the fact that he will not take any crap, like
Christian Grey
calls them out.
Oh my god!
I'd hate to be that guy.
Have you seen his interview with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Who?
I walked out of that as well because he starts talking about his drug addiction.
Yeah, which has
got nothing to do with the movie.
No, it's nothing to do with it. And Robert Downey Jr.'s like, so we're done here. He just starts unplugging.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Who interviewed him? That
Christian Murphy, the guy in Channel 4 News.
Say that again.
Christian Guru Murthy. He was in Channel 7. Satellite Channel 7, or whatever it's called.
Channel 4.
No. The hip trendy show that
Network
started
7.
on. Network 7, yeah. With Magenta Divine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He's got a history of people walking out on him. Quentin Tarantino and Robert Downey Jr.
He was.
I thought the guy was horrible to him.
Yeah. He was just like don't ask these questions because you know it's you're just in it to get a rise is what you're doing.
Yeah, well,
I thought RDJ did it really well.
Yeah, and it was poking Quentin Tarantino about the usual violence in movies. Do you think you create a violent society by making violent movies? And it's like basically, well, if violence existed before movies existed, then you might have a point. But sorry, if violence didn't exist before movies, and then movies came out, and then everybody was violent, you might have a point. But no,
good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I guess I don't like to see him squirm, but I like to see Tarantino take them down.
Yes.
And not just put up with their cack.
Yeah. I like Richard Ayoade as well when he gets interviewed with people.
He did it to Christian
Guru
Murphy as well.
Yeah. It's because I don't know why they keep asking him to interview people, because he's not good at it, because he's not as clever. He thinks he's clever, and he's not as clever as the people who he's interviewing. And so they just destroy him. It's just
Richard Ayoade went down this route of why are you interviewing me? And then he ended up kind of asking him questions and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just a kind of weird flipperoo.
Yeah, because at one point he said about you never thought you'd feel being awkward asking a Norwegian all these questions, and it just threw him. Christian. He's like,
because it basically went down the race route. Do you feel that you're in a privileged position being a black Norwegian man living in? He's like, I've got to do anything. I'm just a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. What a dick.
Just getting a rise out of people. That's all.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, nice. All right, mine's really, really basic.
Hi, James.
Yeah.
Hello,
James. Hello, James.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I've not seen that one before, but I haven't one because it's finished. I'm going to go and look it up.
But I think Meg Ryan was being awkward, I think, though, as well. And just kind of shut down. Basically just shut down.
Have you ever seen De Niro being interviewed?
Well, he just can't. He's just not a conversationalist.
That man's
one-word answers.
Yeah.
Who?
He's terrible. Robert De Niro. Yeah.
Oh,
he
got
doesn't
better.
say anything unless he's got a script in front of him.
He's got a lot better. Remember Barry Norman back in the day, who used to review movies for the BBC, and he interviewed De Niro when I can't remember what movie it was, Goodfellas or something, and he was just giving him one-word answers, and Barry Norman pulled him up on it and was like, "Look, you need to give me something better than this, because this is not entertaining for MD. Giving one-word answers, yeah."
Maybe Martin Scorsese's like,
Right, your one, Sloan.
Mine is, and I just did a quick look there just to see if it had been done before. What if Bruce Wayne was skint? He wasn't born into privilege. He was broke. What would happen then? How would he would he become a criminal to try and take over the underworld and then be the boss of everybody? Or would he just do everything like Iron Man Mark 1 style, where he's building, he's works as a welder or something, and he makes turns his crappy car into a tank or something? How would he do it?
A-Team style.
A-Team style, yeah. He would find a garage and cue the music.
I think he would have to either do a GoFundMe, a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. I'm looking for $120,000 to avenge the death of my parents. That's fantastic. Kickstarter, an Indiegogo campaign.
Yes, I'm trying to raise money to go training in the Himalayas to become a superhero dressed as a bat.
I've already been introduced to a sponsor called Raza Agol, and he will help me attain greatness, but I need your help too.
He's paid for my plane ticket. But I need you. Or some
Don't you get
gadgets.
different levels if you depending on how much money
Helicopter.
depending on how much you donate?
Yeah,
You know, like, you
for
wouldn't get like
for
different
$5
levels.
you get eternal thanks, and you get for $15 you get a Batarang keyring.
And space in my mum and dad's gravestone.
Your name chiseled into the gravestone.
No, maybe that's $50. Maybe that's the
that's
$50
$250. Yeah, get your name chiseled in the back of the gravestone.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. For $1,000, you get a Sharpie written on the inside bodywork of the Batmobile.
Yep. I think there would have to be some kind of package. Maybe for $5,000, we can brand your name onto a criminal's foreheads. and I'll be like that. Click. Just send it to you.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Has MD ever read the comic book Nemesis by Mark Miller?
No.
Nemesis.
Yeah. Basically, it's basically about he's like a kind of Batman character. He's all dressed in white, but he's bad. There's no good superhero in it. It's just a super villain up against the police. And that's dark, by the way. That is dark.
All right.
Yeah, man, it's really good. Right. And he's like, does he come from money? Actually, I think he might do. Anyway, can't remember.
I was thinking,
pretty good.
He could sell spots on his cape as well, like so he could get like sponsorship deals with people, and he could put a patch on his cape.
Yeah, we definitely do that. Pirelli and all
definitely.
that.
Pirelli, not yeah, exactly, yeah.
I think
What are you saying, James?
I think that Bruce Wayne's heart is true, and that won't have changed. The fact that he was rich or poor, his level of genius, it will still be the same. It doesn't matter if he's rich or poor.
Yeah.
And whilst he wouldn't have the financial backing, he would just have to go about his mission on a different way. And obviously, he's in one big, massive 30-year long sulk. He just cannot get over the fact that his parents are murdered. Like, literally, it's ridiculous. So he's obviously driven, and he would still do it, but it would just be a lot grittier. It would be the kind of the Iron Man, Mark 1 armor type thing.
Yeah.
And his version of it. They do quite often do year one stories where he's like, he's not got the suit yet, but he's wearing a t-shirt and a balaclava or a jumper and a balaclava and stuff. So it's he doesn't have a Batmobile, but he's just got a car that's kind of discreet. Right. And I think that kind of year one stuff would be kind of where he would fall in.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Going a little bit like that, is it not?
Huh?
Catwoman's certainly a little bit kind of more like kind of hat over the woolly hat with eyes cut out.
The horn
in the new movie. In the new movie.
Oh right, Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a bit more kind of homemade, Although
the Batman Returns one was homemade as well.
It was homemade, but it was homemade kind of.
It's still armor looking.
No, it was like a latex.
It was latex sewn together. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Batman Returns. Sorry, Catwoman. Sorry.
The raincoat put together with she did really bad
yeah.
stitching, and it was like white cotton stitching instead of like all that kind of stuff. It was kind of low rent kind of thing.
I like that outfit.
It was a great outfit.
Don't know if I could wear it myself, but
No.
You might look like the only gay in the village if you did.
Probably, I would go like that, and then all the stitching would all burst. I'd be stood there like just.
No. By the way, I do quite like the GoFundMe thing and the different levels of what you could get. I feel like you could actually just sit and talk for the next hour about, what happens if you've done this? If you spent this much money, what do you think you get for that? I think people.
I have a funny feeling we'd probably talk ourselves into doing the GoFundMe though.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant idea.
Someone's going to have a Liz.
I think I do think maybe next week it might be my what if might be what if, I don't know, something else had to GoFundMe. What would the different packages look like?
what if Batman hadn't seen a bat in the cave and it was like a frightened stoat or something?
Stoat.
What's a stoat?
A confused stoat.
It's like
like an
a
otter.
ferret or something.
All right.
Weasel.
Elongated.
He's had an irrational fear of
Everyone's
Weasel man.
frightened of stoats, so I am Stoat Man.
a stoater.
A stoater.
I know. A stoaterang.
Oh god, a
criminals.
stoaterang.
This stoatmobile.
The stoat wing.
Stoatcopter.
Stoaterang.
Get to the stoat copter.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well. Aye, good. Quite like that. But I do feel I could have gone on for about another 20 to 30 minutes about
All the
stuff.
different levels.
all the different levels and stuff. I
Like
think I might actually
60
go.
grand.
I think I might actually. Well, once we finish this, after I've looked up that Meg Ryan interview, then we just write out what
Make a big
what the
list.
different levels,
I was
the different
thinking as
levels
well.
will be.
For 50,000, you can become his sidekick.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
But only
Yes.
for the year. Because you don't want
Can you
to.
imagine you were like crap though,
Oh, yeah.
and then you were stuck for a year with this crap like fanboy.
Yeah.
That's 50,000.
Stoatman and fanboy.
Yeah.
That's 50,000. That'll buy a lot of stoaterangs.
Fanboy, get to the stoat copter.
Yeah,
Right on, Stoatman.
yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to afford a stoatcopter. To be fair,
No.
No, I couldn't afford
let's
that.
take the stoat bus.
The stoat bus.
Take the Stoat pass.
Yeah.
He would have to take public transport. You're right.
He's just sitting there like that, holding onto the bus thing like that.
Uh-huh.
Evening,
Who are you
citizen.
supposed to be? Stoatman. He's taking the number 12.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Quick,
I know.
fanboy.
Good. I quite like that.
I am gonna make this comic book. Sounds good. Stoat boy and Stoat man
Stoat
and
boy.
fanboy.
That is. By the way, I bet someone steals our idea.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
100%.
That's it.
It's completely
Yeah, because it's so
not
good.
Batman at all.
Our intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's such a good idea.
I know.
Although,
Yeah.
did they not go in the bus in Star Trek Voyage Home?
Oh, here we go.
Yes, it did. So yeah.
Yeah. What
And
does
also
the exact change mean?
Peter Parker takes the underground quite a lot in full Spider-Man uniform in the PlayStation 4 game.
Oh, does he?
He does that, yeah. A lot of the cutscenes are him just like jumping on the underground and in full costume.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Well, he stopped one, didn't he?
He did good.
What was it?
That
Three, or two? Number two.
full diarrhea look.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
is that us then?
That's us, yeah.
I think that is it.
Three what ifs.
3 what ifs. And so, yeah, if you want to know when we're going to put up a timely reminder of when we're going to do these things again, then hit the old subscribe button, notification bell, and YouTube will do the algos and all that kind of stuff and send you notifications. And if you like what you saw so far, geez, sorry, man, smash the old like button and share. Don't forget to comment below. Thank you very much for commenting on tonight's episode.
Yeah.
You can comment below if you missed the episode, and we'll pick up those comments and run with them and do things with them and move the algos and do all that kind of stuff. But yes, thank you very much for watching. And we don't have anything to play us out with. So we'll just say bye.
That's
It's
it.
gonna be a kind of, and that's it.
What if, and that's it. And we'll see you
Aye.
later. Bye-bye.